Welcome to Strike Videos and our how-to video for 25-man mode Anub'arak, the fifth and final boss of the Trial of the Crusader. Anub'arak was the former king of Asdrul-Nurut. He was slain during the War of the Spider and later raised as an undead to serve the Lich King's bidding. He can now be found inside the Crusader's Colosseum. Anub'arak has 21 million health on 25-player mode and has a 10-minute enraged timer. He hits for around 25 to 30,000 on plate. Make sure your whole raid is inside his room before you engage, because he is a door boss. Your raid composition for this fight should include one main tank, 2 off tanks, 5 to 6 healers, and a mixture of DPS classes. When beginning the fight, your raid should designate one ranged DPS to shoot down the frost orbs floating above the raid. When they fall to the ground, they will create permafrost, which will lay a patch of ice on the ground and freeze that area, preventing the insects from burrowing through it and reducing your movement speed by 80%. These should continue to be placed on the ground for the duration of the fight.
Are you going to the club? Steve and Santa Monica Posse.
Anub'arak has 2 main phases, and one end phase when his health reaches 30%. During phase 1, Nerubian burrower adds will spawn. Your off tank needs to pick up the ad and tank it on one of the frost patches. If it isn't tanked on a frost patch, it will submerge and replenish its health back to full. These adds stack an exposed armor debuff on the tank, which increases physical damage taken and can stack 10 times per ad. Our raid normally kills 2 ads and leaves any additional ads up until Anub'arak burrows and starts phase 2. Your raid may elect to optimize DPS on the boss and leave all of the ads up until phase 2, if your tanks and healers can manage the debuff. This section of the video is a demonstration of phase 1, when Anub'arak is up and the burrower ads are present as well. He's being tanked on a frost patch, and the raid DPS is down Anub'arak and rotates out depending upon your raid with the ads. Here Anub'arak is about to burrow back into the ground and begin phase 2. Our raid finishes off any of the ads that remain, and now the boss needs to be kited around underneath of the frost patches. Anub'arak will burrow approximately every 90 seconds. He will pursue a random raid member with subterranean spikes throughout the phase, and if he reaches them, he will cast Impale, inflicting 17 to 20,000 physical damage to anyone within 6 yards and sending them into the air. Raid members sent into the air will also take fall damage, so it's very important that he be kited over the permafrost since he cannot penetrate the ice. After about 10 seconds, he will choose another target. Additionally, in phase 2, swarm scarabs will spawn. These ads spawn quickly and have low health and need to be kited until they are killed. If a swarm scarab comes in contact with a raid member, they will use a stacking nature debuff that causes a damage tick. This debuff cannot be dispelled and will last for well over a minute. Do not let your tanks touch the swarm scarabs, as this will cause problems when the boss resurfaces. When Anub'arak resurfaces, he retains aggro from phase 1 and repeats this cycle until 30% health or enrage. Our raid normally gathers any of the remaining swarm adds onto the boss and finishes them off with AoE. Anub'arak will also cast Penetrating Cold on 5 players at a time in Phase 1, which causes 3,500 frost damage every 3 seconds for 18 seconds. Your raid healers will have to constantly deal with this because he chooses 5 new targets when the effect wears off on the first set. Our raid normally runs 2 main tank healers, 1 healer assigned to each off-tank, and a floating raid healer. Our off-tank healers are expected to raid heal as well. After the adds have gone down in Phase 3, healing should become minimal, except for recovering for DPS's mistakes. Use this time to help regenerate mana. Anub'arak has resurfaced, so our raid is making sure to finish off any of the remaining adds, as well as any burrowers who happen to come up before we push them into the 30% phase. At this point, Anub'arak is in Phase 3 since we have pushed him to 30% health. He will not summon any more adds for the rest of the fight. The boss casts Leeching Swarm on the raid, which is a damage tick that leeches 10% of each player's current health every second. A minimum of 250 health will be leeched every second, so you cannot ignore healing the raid. This leech ability will also heal the boss equal to how much it harms you, so you need to DPS the boss quickly. Healers will have to do an aggravating balancing act, floating the raid between 1/3 and half health, other than the tank and the players with Penetrating Cold. Thanks for watching the Strike video on Anub'arak. We're a Horde guild on Arthas Server, and you can visit our website at strike.guildlaunch.net for more information.